If it hurts, you ain't the brakes, no gates, you know it up, put on more speed. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, slides, through the game, tap, this win it. First, you again, here for the first minute. Can everybody keep it there for 60 minutes?
Rocky Top! You'll always be.
Just look around. You got the mountains, you got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. You know, the old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that, no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none.
Yeah, I didn't sign any mustard bottles or golf balls. Maybe wish I had had a golf ball that night, you know what I mean? But I'm only kidding. All right.
I mean, Peyton Manning said it best year one when we got here. He looked at Coach Heupel and he goes, man, you know, if the Colts lose, you know, I'm all right. If the Broncos lose, I'm good. He goes, but if the Vols lose on Saturday, it hurts my soul. And there's a lot of other people. There's 103,000 people every Saturday who will say the same thing, and there's probably 1 million more watching at home. So it's important here, and those guys feel that.
Make the decision. You're either a Vol or you're not, through thick and thin.
Oh, Coach Jay, I almost turned my camera off. I had a tear rolling down my had a tear. We don't know what we got until it's gone. And you can spin that however you want to spin it. Is it our college football playoff hopes? Is it Alex Golish? It's Alex Golish. We don't know what we've got till it's gone. Is it Hendo Cinco? I don't know. But my name's Boogie Bentley. He's Coach Jay. Before we get into it, look, we're gonna break this thing down. It's called therapy for a reason, but just some real life stuff that's going on right now. Send up some prayers for a buddy of Coach Rice's. He messaged me about an hour or so before we went live. A buddy of his lost their father this afternoon, so Coach Rice is doing what friends do, man. And I've told the story on here a million times. When my mom passed away, Dauber was the first person on my doorstep, and I was like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Because that's what friends do. I'm here. Like whatever you need, I'm here." So prayers for Coach Rice, his friend, all that situation. He said he hopes to be back Wednesday. We'll play that by ear. We'll see what's going on. But we're gonna break this thing down. We're gonna get into it. I see John said it wasn't enough to just post it once. He needs so much attention that he's got to put Cheez-It Bowl into the chat 17 times. Well, let me tell you something, boys. The Oregon is done playing. The people have filed in to the building, and now it's time for church, because if you tune in to SEC Now, SEC Nation, ESPN, Sports Center, you listen to anybody on YouTube that has their finger on the pulse of college football, they keep saying one thing, and that's it's hard to go on the road and win in the SEC. You might want to call it cliche. You might want to call it coach speak. You might want to act like that's not true. I saw a great post on VolQuest this afternoon. Only 5 teams in the SEC have a winning percentage of 500 or higher on the road. That's Texas, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Arkansas, and South Carolina. 5 teams in the entire SEC are over 500 on the road. That tells you how difficult it is to go on the road and win in the SEC. Meanwhile, we want to talk about Georgia. Well, they're not the Georgia of old. They're not very good. Look what happened last week. Georgia's not lost a game at home since what, 2019? It's like 5 years or something since they've lost a game at home. Going into the game, they're favored by 10. Why? Why are they favored by 10? I think Vegas knows a little something about setting the spreads, but somehow, some way, we spin it as we're supposed to go down there and dominate. And I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to say that I am okay with the loss last night. I've been called a negaball today. I've been called a sunshine pumper today, but that tells me that I am just spitting truth. I am giving my opinion, and if people like it or they don't like it, it is what it is. So you take that for what it's worth. This is still a good football team with a shot of going 10-2.
Yeah.
They have every opportunity to go 10-2, which is where most of us had them to begin with. That's why I don't understand some of the negativity, some of the, well, I'm glad basketball's here. I can't wait till baseball season. I'm done with this football team. I don't understand that line of think when most of us were saying 10-2. And I guarantee you there's probably less than 5% of people in the chat right now that said Tennessee was going to go beat Georgia on the road. But now we go lose to Georgia on the road, and it's burn the program down, fire Josh Heupel, fire Tim Banks, go get Alex Golesh. It's funny. It's funny how quickly we forget where we were, where we've been, and where we are going. All of a sudden, the game rolls around, and we are freaking out as if we didn't expect this. So here's the deal. I don't like it. Coach Jay don't like it. I know most of y'all don't like it. Let me tell you who really doesn't like it. Josh Heupel doesn't like it. That locker room doesn't like it. You think we care more than them? I'd probably say you're crazy if that's what you believe. So there's only one thing left to do. Go beat UTEP. Go beat Vanderbilt. Hope for some help from Ole Miss. And if not, let the chips fall where they may. If we get in, we get in. If we don't, we don't. Are you going to burn the program down for a 10-win regular season? 10 wins in the regular season. Are you ready to burn it down? Are you ready to burn down the program? Let me educate real quick. Do you know how many 10-win seasons we've had since Philip Fulmer was fired after the 2008 season? Coach Jay, do you want to guess? Does anybody want to take a guess how many 10-win regular seasons since Fulmer was fired?
Can I take a guess of one?
Now,
right?
if you were going to guess what coach brought us that 10-win season, you want to take a guess who it was?
Was it brick by brick?
No, it was Josh Heupel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know I could answer with Heupel. Sorry.
Yeah, that makes it even worse, right? Because I went back and looked too, because I was thinking, did Butch ever win 10 wins in the regular season? And he didn't. The only coach to do it since Fulmer was fired was Josh Heupel in 2022. And guess what? He's got a shot at doing it again, doing it twice in 4 years. So do you want to go back before Fulmer? How many 10-win seasons do you think Johnny Majors had? In 16 years. 16 years he had two. Josh Heupel's done it in 4 years. You want to go back older? Some of you old-timers? Bill Battle? 3. Bill Battle had 3 10-win seasons. You want to go back before him? Doug Dickey. A big old goose egg. Doug Dickey had a big old goose egg for 10-win seasons. A lot of us were spoiled. A lot of us were spoiled by Philip Fulmer in the 90s, in the early 2000s, because he did it 9 times in 16 seasons. So am I happy? Am I happy with what happened in Athens last night? Absolutely not. Not at all. But sometimes you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, am I being realistic here, or am I being a little bit crazy? In sermon. Go ahead, Coach Jay. I told
No,
you. My blood
I
pressure's
did.
up.
Amen. Preach, 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 preach. Never apologize. And hey, we got to get there, but never apologize for a 10-win season if that's where this thing ends up. Just never, ever, ever, ever. And Tim, I hear some frustration in the chat. Like I've heard the Mark Richt comment twice. Mark Richt had like 10+ years. It's a little bit different situation considering this team was gutted, skinned, scalped, had all their internal organs pulled out and left for dead when Josh Heupel took over this program. And this program is continuing to trend up. I'm excited about Tennessee football. I'm not quitting on this team this year. Do we need a little help? Yes. Am I am I am I pissed off that Tennessee made me a Florida fan this week? Yeah, hell
you are.
yeah, I'm mad about that. How dare you do that to me, Tennessee? I am hotter than a I don't even know the expression, but I'm hot about that. I do not want to have to root for Florida
Hotter than
this
a
weekend.
$2 pistol? Is that the phrase?
There you go.
Did
There
I
you
nail
go.
that?
I'll
Did I
take.
get
There
one?
you go. You nailed that like a
go.
split hog. There you go. But yeah, you got to keep fighting. We got to go take it to UTEP. We got to go take it to Vandy. We got to continue to solve the problem of putting 4 quarters of football together, where not only the offense performs for a full 4 quarters of football, but the team plays in synergy together for 4 quarters of football. We've yet to see that from this team. Yes, I know it's not the state of Tennessee on my shirt, Aaron Duck, but you guys probably love how much it takes off people in California, this shirt.
I love that shirt. It's
But
one of my
yeah,
favorite
yeah,
shirts
yeah,
that you wear. I love it.
yeah. But yeah. Listen, we still got stuff to play for this year. Do you need a little help? Yeah, probably do, right? I don't think 5 teams get in. I think a lot of us are probably at 4 SEC teams get in, barring something crazy like Notre Dame losing or something of that nature, which is possible, entirely possible. Going back on the game, first of all, I think a game's like that's just frustrating in general. Rewatching it, I think everyone hated the announcers in that game. I thought they were insert colorful euphemism of how they were treating Georgia. Obviously the refs were problematic, but look, at the end of the day, we didn't win enough battles in the trenches either to win this game, refs or not. Yeah, Georgia's hard game on the road. You talked about the middle 8, Boogie, I know, before this game. And, right about that moment, we started having a missed tackle or two. We missed a sack that would have put them out of field goal range. Beck picks up a first down, scores, and you could almost like the game Nico got hit in, and then he started kind of playing better. It's almost like he woke himself up in that moment out of the funk he got in. And then from that moment on, we go into the half, right? First drive of the second half, miscues and penalties. We had the drop ball by Thornton that puts us dang near in field goal range. We had the no PI call against Squirrel at that moment, and then we get a false start from Lance Hurd. The ensuing drive is the Jackson Moy substitution and the fumble drive. So just that middle 8 got gross, and we were never able to recover from that. I'm gonna, I didn't like the defensive game plan. I said it last night. Did players make mistakes too? It's always a formula of players not executing and game plan together of some extent. I thought the game plan outweighed the players' miscues yesterday. Personally, I just wasn't a fan on the replay of the game plan at all, really. But I trust Heupel, and you got to trust him and kind of check down that road wins are tough, and sooner or later he's got to turn those around, and it's probably a lot sooner than it is later now. Next year, I expect a tough road win, I think we all need at least one. What are the tough road games going to be? Florida and Alabama next year?
Yep.
You got to win one of those. I don't want any excuses. I want to win in one of those games next year. Period.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and that's why I lack so much confidence. And again, to the people that are like acting like this is some outrage, and I'm not trying to sell people on being happy, but when Georgia's not lost a home game in 5 years, what makes you think Tennessee's going to go down there and dominate? And look, this we were somebody stepping up, and I said this last night. We were somebody stepping up and making a play away from having a shot to win this football game. I know they won by 2 scores, and the way they controlled the clock and put together long drives. And you got to give Carson Beck credit, man. Carson Beck, watching the All-22 today, Carson Beck made some dang good throws. Carson Beck shows you why. If you rewind time, you rewind history. I said Carson Beck's going to be way better quarterback than Stetson Bennett ever was. If Carson Beck had the weapons around him that the old lunch pail kid had, like if he had the weapons that Stetson Bennett had, Carson Beck is a way better quarterback than Stetson Bennett. I don't care what anybody says. But look, man, it's Georgia. It's on the road. It's a hostile environment, and that's a big part of it. But watching the All-22, you got to give credit to Carson Beck for making the throws that he made. You got to give credit to Mike Bobo for scheming things open, man. So many plays that they created confusion. Now, was that Bobo scheming up plays? I think a lot of it was. I was way harder on the defensive line last night, probably defensive line and linebackers. But guess what, Coach? When you watch it on TV, you get to see the linebackers and the defensive line for the most part. You don't get to see the secondary necessarily. I thought the secondary was hot trash last night, particularly over the middle of the field. Particularly over. Did you watch all 22 today?
I did. I rewatched the game last night, and then I watched the all 22 today. It's weird. Sometimes a lot of my big overarching opinions will change, but for the most part, I kind of was okay with the way I felt about it the first time around. And I didn't like the way the secondary played after the first quarter, certainly. But I thought the linebacker play, the D line play, everything lended its hand to that being bad. It's look, they're tied together to a certain extent, right? So, when we were forcing them to take the deep shots early and they couldn't connect on it, the DBs looked all right at that point. As soon as we started giving them a ton of space, it was a recipe for disaster.
Trying to think of anything else that stood out. The one drop you talking about, the middle eight, was big to me. And I'm going to get to the super chats here in just a moment. We appreciate all the door fees and the tips that are coming in. Keep those rolling in. We appreciate it. I'm going to get to those in just a minute, and then we're going to open it up for you guys to do the fan call-in portion. The middle eight was such a big deal, and I don't think we really talked enough about it last night. I felt like we briefly kind of glanced over it because I thought the big concern for me was that Dylan Sampson, they scored too soon right before the half. And like, what are you going to do? Hey, Dylan Sampson, take a knee, bro. Don't score. No, you got to go score right there. But when you saw how much time was on the clock, it was a concern. Georgia goes right down the field and they get some points before the half. So that kind of left a bad taste in your mouth. But then you come back out and you don't score. And there was a couple of things there. I think it was second down. Man, you had Kitzelman open over the middle. But so many things that I saw watching the All-22 today, when I watch it live, see what happens, and then I rewind it and watch it again. And I may focus on Nico. I may rewind it, and then I may focus on a wide receiver. Then I rewind it, and I may focus on the offensive line. And so many times I would be watching down the field. I'd be like, he's open. Why is Nico not putting the ball on him? I would rewind it. He was under pressure, man. He was under pressure all night long. There was a play early in the game when Tennessee kicked the field goal. They had a deep shot wide open, like the whole center left half of the field's open, all kinds of room for Nico to make a throw. But you had Ethan Davis in protecting. You had, I think it was Peyton Lewis at the time.
It was
in protecting.
I know what you're talking about.
And Nico's running for his life. It's like that's why it's so maddening when people want to say play calling, Alex Golish, we need him back, all this type of stuff. And it's like, man, no, just execute. Like when you as a play caller are having to keep your tight end in to protect. You're having to make sure Peyton Lewis is in there to protect, and you're still getting beat, and you've got guys open. Dude, that's frustrating. Missed tackles. You mentioned that last night. I kind of feel the same as you do, man. Like a lot of the things that we said, that you said, that Dauber said, that all of us said last night, I felt like we got confirmation of that on the rewatch. The linebackers were not good. I didn't like the defensive game plan. We didn't pressure Carson Beck. Little miscues on offense, mainly protection. Did Nico play his best game? No. Did he play good? Yes. Did he play good enough to win? Absolutely. Absolutely. Dylan Sampson is a
Grade him.
dude.
Grade Nico for me, Boogie, just off the hip.
Go, I'm going to get crucified. At least an A. An A. I don't
Okay.
I think he made plays where majority of quarterbacks are getting sacked. He made something out of nothing. He didn't miss a whole lot of throws. He missed Kitzelman high. He missed.
Was that the one where the referee was standing in front of Kitzelman?
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah, you got to.
And then the very next play, he hits Kitzelman and Kitzelman drops it, and it's
drops
like,
it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. That was like. Yeah. When I first watched, I was like, man, that was a terrible throw. When I was watching on all, with the whole field, I was like, I think Nico saw that ref standing there and tried to get it over him and sailed it.
I think they even said that on the broadcast. I think they said that on the broadcast.
Either way, you got to trust that the ref's going to get out of the way. And the worst case scenario is Nico beans that referee in the face with a laser, which I don't think any Tennessee fan would have minded too much last night anyway. I had him at like on the road. I think I had him at a B, solid B plus. So. Yeah, I didn't think Nico was the issue. And once again, pass protection. Peyton Lewis, true freshman back there. We all know that's the hardest thing for a young running back to pick up. Ethan Davis back there, a kid who played wide receiver. And if I'm not mistaken, he's a redshirt freshman as well, right? Who's coming back off of injury from last season.
Yep.
Yeah. So, once again, you have areas where this team's still growing on offense. So, that kind of is what it is. But either way, Georgia's not been kind to us. Obviously, they've gotten the better of us. Nico's numbers eerily similar to Hendon Hooker's numbers in 22 against Georgia, and minus the picks and fumbles. But Milton numbers also eerily similar to Nico's. Hooker was 22 of 33. 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, 2 fumbles, 195 yards. Milton was 17 of 30, 147 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Interesting fact about both those games, Boogie. The long pass in both of those games, 16 yards.
Last night was what, 17?
Mm-hmm.
So how much of that is Kirby Smart versus Josh Heupel?
Right now you have to be honest and say he's gotten the best of them. It's just what it is. If the Vols want to change that, then they'll have an opportunity to do so next year on the grass at Neyland.
And Kirby Smart's a great coach. Like let's call a spade a spade. I'm not on here sugarcoating anything. Contrary to popular belief, I gave Georgia credit for the win. Their players went out and executed. I feel like they outcoached Tennessee. It is what it is. But I think that the talent gap is closing. Like I said, the biggest thing for me, man, and it was frustrating live. I briefly mentioned it last night. It was really frustrating on the replay, knowing how the game played out in the circumstances. That drive late in the game where Tennessee's down 7, you got an opportunity to go score, and DeSamp checks out of the game, and then the drive stalls, and then you punt, and you pin them deep, and I felt okay at that point when you punted and pinned them deep and you were down 7, and then Georgia just marches right down the field, scores, and the ball game's over. But seeing Dylan Sampson check out of the game when we have talked week in and week out about how he needs help, he can't carry the entire load, and then seeing him check out when that's your moment. That is your moment to go win a football game. And he played his heart out, and I get it. But that was frustrating, knowing how the rest of the game played out in that moment.
Yeah, absolutely it was. Look, Sam's been a tank all year. Is his pitch count a little higher than you'd like it to be? Sure. So you got to give him those rests, right? And you're missing Bishop. But, once again, no excuses. They were without running backs too. So it is what it is. But Sam's had a great year. He's going to continue to have a great year. Once again, got to bite down, keep our chin down, control what we can control, and let the cards fall where they may. It's going to be a tough job for that committee, no matter what. I would think you're going to have someone left out that's on even ground. It seems like than someone else's. So we'll see how it all shakes out at the end. I think I saw the betting odds were like Tennessee is minus 110 to get into the playoff. That's good odds. Like that's a
They're
favorite
right there.
technically, barely, but
They're right there on that bubble, man. We need Florida to beat Ole Miss. I'll feel way better. I would love to see where the percentages and like that line you're talking about, where that goes, where the ESPN FPI goes, if Florida beats Ole Miss. And Florida's playing good football right now. And we talk about going on the road in the SEC. Ole Miss is going on the road to Florida. So we'll see. We're all going to be Gator fans coming up this weekend. The link is out for Talkin VAWLS Elite. You guys jump on, come hang out. We'll get your opinions. We're doing it the way we did it the last couple of Sundays. We're going to bring you guys on one at a time. You got a talking point, you got a question, the floor is yours. We're going to do it for 5 or so minutes, depending on how many people come in. If nobody comes in, nobody wants to talk, nobody wants to hang out, we'll call it a night. We'll wrap the show, and we'll be back tomorrow morning. But let me run through some super chats. Ballfan 25 for 5 says Tennessee still has a chance to go to the playoffs. 100%. 100%. But man, you had an opportunity to control your own destiny, and you didn't do it. Ron the Don for 5. Dorothy, let's get this truck back on track and headed for the next destination. We are 8-2. I have lived through worse and bounced back better. GBO. Luke Thompson for 2 says, Dorothy, appreciate you, Luke. Thank you for the super chat. Timothy McGee for 5. Lack of offensive creativity and defense went to prevent defense in road games. Fido Productions for 10 says, all I have to say is excluding the O-line, this team is young and I'm excited for the future. Go Vols. I've been through a long time of being down, and I'm thankful to even be a team that the SEC fears. That's well said, Fido. Thank you for the super chat. Timothy for 2. Also, Heupel is our Mark Richt. You know, I made this statement before, and a lot of people didn't like it. What if Heupel's not the guy, but he's the guy to get us to the guy, right? Like what Heupel has done in 4 years is remarkable, and I am nowhere even close to being done with Josh Heupel. And if you missed a sermon, at the top of the show. That tells you all you need to know. Like, I mean, 2 10-win regular seasons in 4 years, and then just rattling off all those numbers. I'm not ready to get rid of Josh Heupel, not even close. Louisiana Ball for 5. If you're talking basketball and baseball season, must not have been a Vol football fan for the past 20 years. Like, what are y'all saying? You're either a Vol or you're not, through thick and thin. Timothy McGee for another 5. It seems Banks and Heupel goes conservative on the road. I would agree with that. I don't think that's an inaccurate statement. SP Weasel for 10. As UTEP supporter, go Vols in respectful minor effort. It's going to be a beatdown. Luke Thompson, I think, is upgrading his membership. Thank you, Luke. We appreciate you. Shane Bentley says, Gerd Args. He says, Gerd Args. And then he says, UGA fan gave a volunteer podcast money. We appreciate you, Shane, and you are welcome here. All Georgia fans are welcome. All fans are welcome. But can you imagine? I hope Coach Rice ain't listening. Can you imagine being a grown-ass man? And letting some dork troll with a bunch of DUIs handle you like a puppet master and say, what I think you should do is go over to this channel, and I think you should type 1998 in the comment section, and it'll be funny. I won. I own him on YouTube. You're a clown. You're a joke. You're a menace to society. You're a drunk. I got no respect for somebody with a bunch of DUIs, but I cannot imagine letting a dude with a bunch of DUIs be a puppet master for me as a grown-ass man. I cannot imagine that. I ignored it last night. I let them have their fun, but good Lord have mercy. But I say that just to say that, Shane, you are welcome here. And I like your last name, bro. Coach Shane, were you going to take a shot?
Nah, I'm gonna keep my gun in my holster, I guess.
Come on.
But
Come on, don't make me the bad guy.
I don't get what the only thing I don't get about the 98 thing. It's like you're insulting me with a national championship that I won, like that I have more of than you. I don't get the insult. I really don't.
I think it's because I think people troll them all the time. I don't know, man. Look. When Tennessee wins, I come here and celebrate with you guys. I don't roll around the internet trying to one-up somebody or act cool or act tough. It's just not how I operate as a human being. I'm here to hang out with you guys, build this community, talk Tennessee football. Georgia fans are welcome. Florida fans are welcome. Everybody's welcome. Like I got no problem with anybody coming and hanging out here. But if you come in and you're an idiot and you're being controlled by a puppet master, yeah, I'll kick you to the curb and block you and not think twice about it and not care. I'll move on with my life. Fido Production drops a 20 spot. That's an Orange Boy. This is for all the 1998ers.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Fido Production says, before the season started, I wanted to lose to Georgia in the regular season because statistically it's hard to beat a team twice. One thing Vegas and the media like is money. Nothing will sell more than a Georgia versus Tennessee playoff rematch. I just don't want to go back to Georgia. Can we do that at a neutral site? A neutral site would be great. Thank you, Fido Productions. We appreciate you. Let's get sports banter on here. Again, guys, we're going to do like 5 minutes. You got a question, you want a conversation, you want a back and forth, cool. You want to talk 5 minutes, me and Coach Jay will listen. The floor is yours when you come on. We're going to roll through as many people as we can. Sports Banter, what's up, brother? How we feeling on this Sunday night?
As good as can be expected, I suppose. Yeah, I hated losing that. I wanted us to win that game so badly, but you know, you can't win them all. And if I'm looking back at the game, the number one thing that stuck out to me was that we didn't get pressure on Beck. I think that's the story of the game, in my opinion. I was like, we had to get pressure on him, and if you get pressure on him, he makes mistakes. He's shown to do that, and we just did not do that. One thing, you know, kind of off the game a little bit is still the game, but you know, not necessarily in the game. Herb Street, you know, I could go without listening to him for, you know, the rest of the season if that's possible.
Dude, I usually like Herb Street, honestly.
Yeah, I do.
Thought
too.
he was really bad last night in favor of Georgia. Maybe it's just emotions.
Hearing the Beck scramble and this and that, you know, oh, that changed the game, and I'm like, no, I don't really think it changed the game necessarily. He made a good play, and I mean, we still wasn't getting pressure on him. The first two drives, the first two series, the first series for us on offense and first series for them on offense was perfect. I was feeling good, but then there's that feeling in my gut, like, oh God, I hope this holds up. You know, we jumped out quick. Now is it gonna turn south? And it kind of did after that. After that second, after that first drive, we stopped them. I don't believe they stopped them the rest of the game. They didn't score every time, but they moved the ball every time they got the ball after that. And it seemed like we were just getting out schemed on the defensive side of the ball like crazy. They kept having guys running wide open over and over and over again, and he was just throwing it up, and he didn't have any pressure on him. So, I mean, but, hey, aside from all that, I was worried about, you know, how the polls were going to be affected and everything. And if the AP poll is any indication as to what the playoff poll is going to be, we are still very much in the race to get into the playoffs. And to me, that is the biggest thing to me. I want to get in the playoffs, whether we're on the road, whether we host a game, just get in. You know, anything better than that to me is a bonus. With BYU losing, to me, that says that there's only going to be one Big 12 team that gets in. So that's another spot for us. You know, I did the math. I looked at it. And also, of course, Ole Miss losing will help for sure. And then you got the other one, Indiana. They'll have to be impressive against Ohio State, or I kind of think that the fact that they haven't beaten anybody, the committee could still put us ahead of Indiana possibly. So I see a really good opportunity for us to still get into the playoffs at 10-2. When I started the season, I was saying 11-1 because I mean, you know, who could have predicted a loss to Arkansas? But I thought Georgia was going to be the only loss we had. And the way the season was going, I actually thought we had a decent shot to beat Georgia last night, but it just didn't happen. But I felt like we'd be able to get into the playoffs at 10-2. And depending on how they do the playoffs, the playoff rankings Tuesday, you know, we'll have a pretty good outlook as to what needs to happen in order for the Vols to make it in. I think if they're around that 10-12 spot, they have got a really good shot to get into the playoffs. And to me, that's what I wanted this season. I wanted to be in the playoffs. come December. I wanted the Vols in the playoffs, and if that can happen, I mean, I'm happy. Even if we don't make it, I'm not going to be upset over a 10-2 season. But what I really want is to get into the playoffs. I think that's the biggest thing. So, I mean, what do you guys, as far as the playoffs, based on what I've just said, you think the playoffs are pretty good, reasonable shot to get into the playoffs for the Vols, or is just slipping away?
I feel like it's like 55-45 we get in. I think it's slightly in favor of us getting in, but not by a lot. So I would be 0% surprised if we don't. like
Yeah, I wouldn't
absolutely
either.
0%. But I do think we have a good chance to as well. Yeah, we'll see what the college football committee says. Once again, if they get any help, Florida comes out and beats Ole Miss at Florida, something like that. Notre Dame drops one. I think you're in.
Notre Dame's got Army, but honestly, I don't think Army's going to be able to. They don't have the athletes to play with Notre Dame, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I as an Army vet, I hope the Army beats them. I mean, I'm rooting for them, but I just
Well,
don't see it. And
Notre Dame, and I realize they're not having the best year, but Notre Dame traditionally really struggles at the Coliseum, and they do
yeah,
close the season versus the Trojans. So we'll see. We'll see. USC rolled out a new quarterback, threw a pick six early in his game, but after that looked pretty dang good. So we'll see. We'll see what
yeah.
that game looks like at the end of the year.
That is
No
a game
doubt
they
about it.
could lose. That is a game they could lose. I mean, Wisconsin almost beat Oregon last night. Anybody can beat anybody.
Sure.
Does it help us more if A&M or Texas wins? Because we're kind of looking not at SEC championship. We're looking at teams being eliminated. If A&M loses, they're eliminated. If they win, then we got two-loss teams right there to
Well, A&M's
contend
already
with.
got 3 losses, right? Don't they have 3 losses?
I thought they only had 2, unless they lost yesterday.
I swear
only had 2.
I thought they had 3. Maybe no, they play Tech. You're right. I think they have 2 losses and they play Texas. I think. Now I got to go look. You know what? We're not professionals around here. I'm going to go look up SEC standings because I need to know this. I need to know this, Sports Manor. Let me see real quick. Texas A&M, 2 losses. So I think we would need Texas to beat Texas A&M, which I think Texas will beat Texas A&M.
I think that'll help. I think that'll eliminate A&M from the conversation. So that's another spot. That's another slot we move up, and of course, get all these 2 losses, another loss if possible. Ole Miss would be big, but we got a chance. The SEC has a chance to put. I could see them putting 4 or 5 of SEC teams in the playoffs. I don't think. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but I think it's possible that it could happen if they're looking at competition and who the teams played, who has the better wins. I don't know if you guys were watching game day yesterday when they were all talking about it, and they were arguing with Saban about, he was pointing that stuff out, and they were arguing with him about it. And to me, it seemed like Saban was the only one that knew what he was talking about, because I agree 100% with what he was saying. Who is this team beating? Who is that team beating? Yeah, I know you can't help who you play, but at the same time, it matters when you're trying to form a 12-team playoff, because you want, if you're trying to put the good teams in there, you want to make sure that they have beaten someone worthy that gives them a playoff spot. And I don't know. Indiana has looked good against everyone except for Michigan, who really isn't that good, and they're the only team that has any trace, of being good at all. They got decent athletes. It's an established program, and they struggled against Michigan. But every team gets that one game. This week is going to tell whether Indiana's legit or not. And Ohio State hasn't. They've been winning, but they haven't blown up the world. I mean, they've looked kind of weak in most of their games. They're pulling them out, but they're not. It doesn't look like your typical Ohio State just absolutely just running over everybody. So it's a toss up right now. I'd like to see Ohio State put it on Indiana pretty good, because I think that would help us. And then I don't know. the less teams from the other conferences gets in, the more it helps us. So it's just what's the rule? What's the rule? I'm sorry, one more thing. What's the rule on the one group of 5, the one small school? One of those have to get in, right? They left a slot open for them. What is the rule on that? Do you guys know?
I think so. I don't know exactly how it works out. Somebody just put in the chat about Colorado. Colorado will likely get in as a conference champion.
Yeah,
I think the things that we need to keep our eyes on is Indiana and Ole Miss. That I think those are the 2 teams we need to keep our eyes on.
I agree.
Why I don't have the confidence is watching the College Football Playoff Committee take Indiana and BYU and bump them ahead of Tennessee in preparation for, okay, let's get set up so that we have all our ducks in a row.
Yeah.
Why are you moving teams around and changing rankings when Tennessee had the more impressive win? That's my problem with College Football Playoff Committee. But Sports Banner, we appreciate you coming on, brother. We're going to jump to the next one. We will catch up with you later, my friend. Appreciate you.
All right. Take it easy, guys.
Coach A, just be ready. My computer's going to just shut down.
Yeah, I got you.
Just be ready for that. Ron the Don for 10 says, for the Lou Do crew, read this back to your leader, jockstrap in holder mouth. You can we win with class and lose as well. Y'all come in here because you were scared of us. Karma is coming. Shout out Ron the Don. We appreciate you. I try to ignore him for the most part, but every now and then, I just tell him what for. I just tell him what is going on in life. So let's move on. Wait a minute. Oh gosh, I saw Bleed Orange, then he disappeared, and then he came back. Bleed Orange, what's up, brother?
What up?
What's up, gentlemen? How y'all doing this evening?
Are you ready to burn the program to the ground? Should we quit? Should we go watch? What's that sport again? What's that sport that Jenny mentioned? Yes, basketball. Is that what it's called?
Cricket.
What the hell is basketball?
Basketball.
Shooty hoops.
Basketball.
Shooty hoops.
Imagine having a shot at 10-2 and we talking about basketball. We talking about practice. Like you like that basketball reference there? Bleed Orange, how are you feeling? How you feeling? You go where you want to go. You want to talk about overall thoughts on the program, the loss, the Georgia game, whatever. The floor is yours, my friend.
Yes, sir. No, I mean, does it suck? Yeah. I mean, I think our game plan in the second half was a little off. I mean, I think Nico played well. The running game was there. Our defense just didn't play like they normally play, and I don't know why. I guess the only way I can chop it up is Bobo outcoached Tim Banks. But the guys got to show up. The guys are capable of giving pressure, and they didn't. So at the end of the day, though, I mean, you said it just a second ago, Boogie. I mean, we're going to go 10-2, right? So if we make it into the playoffs, great. I'm not going to be surprised if we don't. I think we still have a shot, but it's going to take a few things going our way, being other teams losing and things of that nature. But I mean, if we don't, we're still going to go 10-2, possibly 11-2, going to a Cheez-It Bowl. It is what it is. A bowl game's a bowl game. It's extra time, and for the new guys coming in the spring to get some practice. And I think next year is going to be amazing. Just going to go ahead and say that. I know we say that a lot, but Nico has progressed every week in some fashion, and I was really surprised to see them with the Nico runs that they had, the called runs. Coming off the concussion protocol and things like that. And I know he's going to scramble. That's a given. But to call his name on some of those runs, I think it was 2 or 3 times. that was good to see. For anybody doubting this team and for anybody doubting Nico or anything, you know what? Just keep being a bandwagon. Go jump on somebody else's train. Vandy's pretty hot. You know what I mean? So
hot right now.
And if you got to go for a Tennessee team, go for MTSU or whoever. You know what I mean? Vol for life, thick or thin, it doesn't matter. Does it suck that we lost? Yeah. Did I expect us to lose? I'll eat crow. I was thinking that we were going to blow them out, but it is what it is. I'm tired of being negative on anybody. It's a dog eat dog world. And in this day and age, the parity, everybody's going to be beating everybody. So, there is a shot for someone to go undefeated, but I don't think anybody's going to go undefeated. Oregon, maybe, but at the end of the day, my love for Tennessee is going to stay where it's at. I don't care if we go 7 wins. I'm still going to love Tennessee.
There you go.
So, but I I care about all Tennessee sports, So,
yeah. By the
that's
way,
how
my
I feel.
baseball
I
and
mean-
basketball comments are complete satire. It's hilarious.
Oh, I know.
Hey, Faux Nickel, watch this. I'll block you too, bro. I'll block you too. I don't care. I'll block everybody. You think I lose sleep over blocking an idiot? I could not care less. I'm here for the Tennessee fans, for the ride or dies, people that want to add to this community. If you are a puppet that a grown man's controlling, you add nothing to this channel. Why do I need you here? You soft. Boogie, come say it to my face and find out how soft I am. I would love it. I would enjoy it. Coach, I cut you off to yell at a puppet, like a little puppet being controlled by a drunk.
Yeah. Keyboard warriors. Love it, right?
If you all could have seen the conversation I had with Lou off air when he's talking about keyboard warriors and he's insulting 95% of his own audience, like he's making fun of his audience.
If they only knew, right?
If like I had the record button pressed, like, oh yeah, let's. You think he likes you? He's making fun of you as you come to this channel. So just know that. Go ahead, Coach. I'm done. I gotta stop. Coach. I'm sorry. Look, everyone's a little hot.
Calm down, buddy.
Everyone's a little hot. But let me ask. Dropping stuff. Let me ask you this. Kind of wanted to get your take on this. To me, it feels like maybe the top 5-6 teams in the SEC are going to beat any one of those 5 or 6 teams at home when they got home turf right now. I feel like it's that close. Do you kind of feel that? You do. And so how you feeling about this? Yeah. So how you feeling? Say we can get into the playoff. How do you feel about neutral field? Do you like our chances on neutral field, or are you worried that some of these road woes are going to come into play?
No, on a neutral field, if we play on a neutral field, I think we're going to win 98% of the time. But I do think in the playoffs, while the field, the away game woes are going to be there, because I mean, if we don't host and we go somewhere else, that's what I was going to ask you guys. Where would you like to see us go? But I think in the playoff setting, I think that we will be prosperous, regardless if it's neutral or if we have to play somewhere else. But I would like to go somewhere. I'd like to go to Texas, or I don't know, Penn State maybe. But I mean, we've played Penn State before. I don't know that we've played them there. We've played them. We never played them at Penn State, have we? Because I know we had a run where it was home and away a couple times.
I want to say yes, but I could be wrong. Like, I don't know if that's blending in with a bowl game in my mind or something weird.
It was probably
it can all blur together sometimes. Yeah.
I think our chances.
Last 5 matchups were 2007. The last 5 matchups took place between 1971 and 2007. We played them neutral site. That had to be a bowl game in 2007. Yeah, because that's January 2007. We lost 20-10. We played them away in 94. We played them in 92. We played them 3 times in my lifetime, Bleed Orange. So we'll just leave it at that.
Well, I mean, I'm a year older than you, I think. So year or 2 anyway. I'm 45.
How have you aged so much better than me? Must be the beard. They say a beard and a hat hides everything.
I get it from my mama. I don't know what to say, man. I mean, I got good genes. But you look like you got a baby face. You look good for your age.
That's because I hide it all, right? Why does he hide behind a microphone? Because it's funny.
But no, I mean, to answer your question, yeah, I think we'd fare well, honestly, either way. I would like to see us get in the playoffs. That'd be great. That was what we were striving for. Obviously an SEC championship, but I mean, if we can have a rematch with somebody, that'd be great too. Because I think that on a neutral field or Well, yeah, I don't want to have to go back to Athens. That's for darn sure. But I think that if we
Dude,
play
I
them
saw
again,
somebody
man,
talking about that. I want a rematch with Georgia and Athens in the playoffs. I'm like, are you drunk? No, I don't want that game. I don't want to go back to
but
Athens.
but I mean, who would y'all like to see? I mean, if we did make it in, I mean, because it's going to shake up. So I mean, who would y'all like to see us play in the playoffs?
I like the matchup with Texas, but I don't want to go to Texas. I don't want to go play at Texas. I don't know that it's so hard to look at now, Bleed Orange, because like you said, it's going to shake up so much over the next 2 weeks to see who Tennessee would actually play. Like a Tennessee Notre Dame matchup, that sounds fun. I would like to go beat up on a team like Indiana that the media is hyping up. Like Coach Jay, who's the favorite on a neutral site? You kind of mentioned this earlier, talking about some of the other teams that would get in. Who's the favorite on a neutral site? It's got to be Tennessee over Indiana.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to spread that at 8. I think 8. I think it'd sit around 8, maybe open 8, something like that. 7 on the neutral field, something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Notre Dame.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind either of those teams. I'd be okay with playing either of them. I mean, ultimately, you got to be okay with playing them all. But yeah, I wouldn't mind any of those teams. Might be fun to play against Penn State, like you guys said. Shoot, I think any of the teams would be its own challenge and be kind of fun. Texas would be kind of fun. Ultimately, it's going to be good football if you make it there. So, yeah. I'm okay with any of them.
I can't remember what year it was. It had to have been 05, maybe. Wasn't too far back from Iraq. I want to say, I think it was when we played Notre Dame at home, and Brady Quinn beat us. I don't know. I remember that part, but I was partying at a frat house, and the 2 guys that were supposed to go with us passed out. So we took their student IDs and ended up getting into the student section. Didn't look like either one of the guys' IDs we used, but
there you go.
It was a pretty good time, even though we lost. But yeah, I've got funnier stories to share that I can't share on here. But if I ever get a chance to talk to you guys, I could tell y'all some funny stuff about that day. But no, man, I think anybody would be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of looking ahead of us here, you don't think Indiana beats Ohio State, do you?
No, I don't. But I mean, it would not surprise me. I mean, just like Banter said, they haven't really. I mean, yeah, Jeremiah Smith is impressive. Their quarterback is he's good, but he's not elite that I've seen. I mean, I don't think they're as good as they have been, and they've played some teams close. But I mean, a blind squirrel does find a nut every once in a while. So I mean, it wouldn't shock me too much if Indiana beat them, because I mean, they're playing pretty well. I mean, yeah, they were struggling against Michigan, but Michigan still got some players on that team. I know they've kind of sucked this year, but they've still got some players. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting, to say the least. It's going to be interesting.
We got to move on because I'm terrible at my job. I tell you all, I'm going to let you come on for 5 minutes. I'll let y'all come on for 20 minutes, and we're going to stay live all night long. But I love it. I think the conversation is so much better when you guys come on one person at a time. I think it makes the show better. I think you guys get more of a voice, but it means we're going to be live all night long. But we love you, Bleed Orange. Appreciate you coming on, brother. Have a great night. We will catch up soon.
Yeah.
Let me hit some super chats real quick. I told you my computer's going to die. I can just see it step by step dying. Andrew in for 5. Am I the only one that would love the chance to go beat the brakes off of Penn State? Thank you, Andrew. Good old Nate Pruitt for 10 says, cover charge boogie. Howdy, Coach Jay. Howdy, little brother. That's Bleed Orange. Howdy, Vols fam. God bless. And go Vols. You can go get your God bless and go Vols shirt at bonfire.com/store/talking balls. We love you, Nate. Andrew in drops a 20 spot. That is an orange boy. We shall play the clip.
Rocky Top!
So many of us picked a 10-2 season, losing to Bama and Georgia at the beginning of the year. We got a Florida-Bama win, and while I'm hurting like the rest of us, like Boogie has said, it is nice to care this much again. It is. It sucks. It's nice, but it sucks. It sucks waking up on Sunday miserable and like just mad and angry. And not only even that, like from a personal standpoint, you wake up that way, but then watching our fan base eat each other alive, man, and just call each other names, insult each other, Negaval, Sunshine Pumper, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. I love our fan base. I wish we could agree to disagree and just stop eating each other alive, man. That is the worst part about a loss. We come in here on a post game and we, like, you guys, I say it like it's everybody in the chat. People attack us, you attack each other. I've seen it on VolQuest. Me and Kaner have talked about it off air. Like, I texted him, dude. I texted Kaner at 2:00 in the morning last night, and I was like, "This week's gonna suck." He's like, "Yep." He's like, "Buckle up, get ready, because it's coming. They're gonna come after us." I'm like, why are you attacking VolQuest? Why are you yelling at AP because Nico doesn't throw for 350? Why are you yelling at Coach J because Nico doesn't throw for 500 yards and 7 touchdowns? It's like, it sucks, man. It's way more fun to win, but I hope the sermon at the beginning of the show puts things in perspective. Let's get Jenny on here. Let her talk a little something. Yeah. Jenny's smiling. She's happy. She's all right. How you feeling?
Well, first of all, I want to talk to some of these Georgia trolls. But y'all need to go somewhere until y'all have a whole decade of us of beating us. Go somewhere, because y'all did best one time in the 90s. So y'all need to go somewhere. So that's why y'all rushed the field for us in 2000. Almost got a penalty because you tried to rush the field. You tried to rush the field early. Second, y'all keep bringing up 98. How long did it take y'all to get another national championship? 40 freaking years. Over 40 years, I believe. 1998 is 26 years ago. We still got another like 14 years before we get to y'all status. So go somewhere, go sit down, take it out to Uncle Lou, and shove it up your butts.
Take an Uber, though, Jenny. Take an Uber when you go there.
Oh, don't get me started on them. I like some Georgia fans, but the ones that are trolling, they need to get a life. Get a life.
They're pawns. They're pawns.
When my team wins, I don't go troll Florida. I don't go troll Alabama. I was here with you guys when we beat those teams.
That's why it's so weird. It's so weird to me, Jenny. I'm like, I don't like. My wife was asking. She's like, how did it go last night? And I was telling her all the stuff that went down, and she's like, I don't understand people. I'm like, it's the internet. Like, it is the internet. I'm like you. I'm like, I want to celebrate the wins. I want to talk through the losses. I don't understand people, man. I got better things to do than go watch a Florida channel or an Alabama channel.
Right.
Like, I just got better things to do with my life than that. I would rather be here hanging out with you guys, which is why I don't care to block people, man. I'm all about people that add something to this community and are here to have a good time. Craig J says Jenny came in with a flamethrower tonight. I love it. I love it, man. I love it.
I'm sorry. I just had to get that off my chest because that was just bugging the mess out of me. I was like, get a life.
So how are you feeling? You grew up in our era. You saw Phil Fulmer win a lot of games in his time, a lot of 10-win seasons. Are you
16.
ready to flush this thing over a 10-win season potentially?
I was 16 when we won a national championship, 98. I've been a Tennessee fan my entire life. My dad was a huge Tennessee fan. I grew up, born and raised Tennessee fan. Then I went to Tennessee and it got worse. Before Josh Heupel became the coach, I was a student the last 10-win season we had, which was 2001, which we should have went. That breaks my heart because I had a lot of friends in band. We just had to be LSU in the SEC championship. We were on our way to the Rose Bowl. My parents had already gotten plane tickets and a hotel room. We just needed to get tickets to the Rose Bowl. I was so sad. My dad was so mad we lost that I was like, we can go to the Citrus Bowl. He was like, no. And then Tennessee, our team was so mad they went and beat up on poor Michigan. They were so mad.
I was at the 2004 SEC championship game when Ainge threw the pick at the end of the game. Me and Snake were at that game. That's the thing about Fulmer that's so like it's like you look back on it, it's like, man, I'm grateful. Like that's why this picture right there, that's Fulmer holding the national championship trophy. It's signed by him. Told the story a million times. Snake gave me that paper. He was a student when Tennessee won the national championship, and he went to the little quarter machine, put the quarter in, and he took like 40 papers out and like took them all home. Like he stole 19, 20, 30 papers. And a friend of his met Fulmer and got him to sign them, and he gave me one of them. I love Fulmer. But man, there's so many moments where it was like we could have won another SEC championship. Fulmer should have won more than one.
He should have won multiple national
He should have
championships
won
with the
multiple
teams he
national
had.
championships.
But I mean, I was only 2 years removed from it because I was a junior in high school when we won a national championship, and I got to Tennessee in 2000. So I knew people who were freshmen and sophomores that year. So yeah, they're like, "That's awesome."
when you talk about what you've seen, what you've experienced, your time as a student, your time with Fulmer, like what do you think about this year? Going like so let's say we go beat UTEP, we go beat Vanderbilt, we go 10-2. Let's say we don't get in the playoff. Are you angry? Are you mad? Are you questioning Josh Heupel? Or are you just saying
no? And I think it's
10-2.
I feel like it's crazy because everybody keeps comparing to Mark Richt, and I was like, well, Mark Richt had more than 4 years. For one, I'm not ready to throw Josh Heupel out to pasture because, I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of jealous of the students now because, I mean, we went to 2 SEC championships when I was in school. But now it's harder, to be honest, especially with no divisions. So I feel like we need to go back to divisions. It's all muddy now. Like all these people, all these schools have the same record as I'm like, and then you're going to throw another one in the mix when Texas and Texas A&M and Texas play. So you have all. So
you think it's going to expand? You think it's going to expand soon? Jenny, do you see it growing?
No, I just take just take the 16 teams that we have and it's not hard.
Just the SEC college football playoff. Is that what just happened?
No, we need to go back to divisions.
I do agree. I like
West,
divisions.
Because
I agree with that.
Right now it's just it's a headache. They're like all these teams, we're all beating each other. Like Georgia beat us. We beat Alabama. Alabama beat Georgia.
Jeannie, do you think that some of the remaining independents out there in these small, kind of group of 5 people, do you think that they should be forced into
I think Notre Dame
the ACC or the Big 12? Okay.
I don't think it's fair. And actually, it's negative towards them too because they don't get that extra game.
Right.
I mean, but I don't think it's fair that they don't have to play in conference, and then they kind of sneak in. Because I think Notre Dame is one of the most overrated teams. They get in because of their name.
Yeah.
That's why they keep sneaking in. Big Ten, I'm scared that they're going to get more teams in just because the head of the playoff is Michigan's athletic director.
Yeah, that's so weird.
That's crazy. No school's athletic director should be ahead of anything. I'm sorry. That's not right. Indiana, I don't know what's better if Indiana beats Ohio State or Ohio State like kicks the mess out of Indiana. I don't know. Maybe it's better for Ohio State.
I don't know.
Yeah.
To beat Indiana and then Michigan to beat Ohio State.
What is better? Because if Ohio State beats Indiana, they both have 1 loss. But if Indiana beats Ohio State has 2 losses, and you kind of hope they get bounced. But like I know
they'd have to smoke them though for them to get bounced.
You think?
Yeah, they would have to lose by a lot.
I think 3 touchdowns for either of them to get bounced.
You think so?
I think it's got to be 3 scores.
Somebody
like if Indiana went to Ohio State and won by 3 touchdowns that late in the year, that's a death sentence, I would think. But I don't know, man. Like predicting what's going on. I get why Chinny is wanting to go to division so that you have more definitive things with your Notre Dames, your group of fives. That's kind of a weird thing. I don't
And I
mind
don't
them
like
having a bid, but I think a group of five, man, I know it's like weird to say, but I almost think the group of five has to be undefeated to get in. I hate to be mean, but like if you're a group of five and you have a loss, I just don't think you deserve.
You're going to
be
show
I
up just to
don't
get beat. You're showing
I
up just
don't
to get beat and
agree
taking
with the
a
group.
true competitor out of it. Like, I
I
get it.
don't
I get the hate on Tennessee and you lost and this, that, and the other. Tennessee, if they show up and Blake can beat anybody in the country on a neutral site, period.
I
Whereas you
And that
just
would
throwing
protect,
somebody in for the sake of throwing them in, that's a wasted
that
spot.
would protect your random, like when Boise was
Yes.
undefeated, they had that team that beat Oklahoma. That team deserved to be in a playoff, like if the playoff existed back then. But then there's been some group of five teams that have no business in there at the end of the year that would end up in there some years.
Jenny, give
And
us
I
your prediction
believe
on how the season plays out. What happens against UTEP? What happens against Vanderbilt? Do we make the college football playoff? And then we're going to ramp things up with some entertainment value.
I
with
think
Luke.
that so can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Can y'all hear me? Okay.
Yes.
I
Yep.
think that we're gonna lay it to UTEP. I think we'll beat Vandy. I'm not even worried about Vandy. I know everybody is. "Ugh." And Diego, I think we're gonna beat both of them. I don't know if we need some help. We need to. I hate the Gators, but them beating LSU, and we need them to beat Ole Miss. We need them to beat, and we need Auburn to beat Alabama. Maybe. I mean, it could happen. We maybe need Mississippi
That's a
State to beat Ole
crazy
Miss.
game always. That's always a crazy game.
Yeah. I always came in here saying that we were either going to be our ceiling was 12-0, and I still stand by that because I feel like we could have been undefeated. And I always said our floor was 9-3. But realistically, I felt like we were going to be 10-2. Didn't think it was going to be Arkansas. That was going to be Alabama and Georgia.
Well, a lot of y'all watching this video, maybe not even right now, but maybe tomorrow, maybe in a day from now, a lot of y'all were going, after the Arkansas game, 5 and 6 is a real possibility, guys. We're terrible. We're going to go 7
I never
and 5,
believed that.
5 and 6. A lot of you were disputing that madness at the time.
I never believed that.
To me, it was crazy.
I was
as bad
just
as we played that day.
realistic and thought it was going to be 10-2, and I thought that we were going to lose to Georgia, and we were either going to lose to Alabama or Oklahoma. So I did not see Arkansas coming, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, Jenny, we appreciate you. We got to move on. We got Luke coming on here in just a second. Have a good rest of your day. It's always fun having you on the show.
Bye.
Coach, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. I mean, I just think this comment's so funny. First of all, I feel sorry for your dogs. But Ryan Smith says Boogie is just like every Tennessee fan. He talks that S all day long and cries after loses. Well, I mean, first of all, Ryan, I said all week long that I didn't feel confident about this game, that Georgia was a good football team, and I thought that Tennessee would probably struggle on the road, but I do know how to spell losses. That's one thing I do know how to do. I know how to spell losses, unlike you. Then he wants to challenge me to a fight. Where are we going to fight? When do you want to fight? Like, are we going to do that? We're going to do it on pay-per-view? We're going to do it like Jake Paul, Mike Tyson? Like,
yeah.
Let me tell you something. I know how to spell losses, and I'm also not controlled by a puppet master. So good riddance. God bless. Go Vols. Have a great life. Get a life, man. Good Lord have mercy. It is amazing. It is amazing what happens on the internet. Sports Banner says, Ron Smith, meet me in the parking lot. We're going to fight. It's like we're here to talk about football.
100% of the time when people are challenging you to fight on the internet, they would lose that fight.
It's just comical.
Like, maybe not 100, but it's high. Like, dude, I've ran into so many people who talk.
Do you know how many street fights I've been in?
Look at them and you're like, I don't know, but
I think you do know.
But I know you've trained quite a bit. Zero.
Trained with some killers. I don't fight on the street. I'm not an idiot.
As long as you don't get chin popped and knocked out early, if you have a good wrestling base, grappling base, you'd be all right.
It's just so dumb. We're
You'd
not
be
here to
all right.
fight.
It's
We're here to
just
talk
dumb.
Tennessee football. Bro, I'm 43 years old. I'm a father. I'm married with kids.
Fighting hurts.
I'm not here to fight. I'm here to talk Tennessee
Fighting
football.
hurts. Shoot, you start broken hands and whatnot.
Can you imagine?
It sucks. It sucks.
Can you imagine being
Street fights
controlled?
suck.
Being controlled so much by the puppet master that you roll around the internet wanting to street fight. Let's fight. Let's fight, you MFer. God bless. I cannot imagine being a grown man acting like that. Like, it's embarrassing. I do truly feel sorry for your dogs. Let me know if I can help you with those doggos. Let's turn it up. We're going to crank it up for some entertainment value. Watch this. We're going to bring Luke and Sling. Let's just go all in. Let's bring Luke, Sling Blade, and 25 on, because Luke, I don't condone this. I didn't say he had to do this.
I should have had better Georgia.
Luke said if Tennessee lost to Georgia, he was going to eat a Carolina Reaper. So here's what we're going to do. Luke's not going to talk. He's just going to get that Carolina Reaper out. And me, Coach Jay, Ball Fan 25, and Sling Blade are going to talk about this game.
You need some milk?
Oh, here we go. We're going to watch Luke and see what happens. So, Luke, let's see that. Let's see it first. Show us.
Ooh, that thing is ugly. Look at that thing.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, kids, don't try this at home.
Can I get a countdown?
In 5.
Wait.
Oh wait, okay.
Whoa,
you got this. Sorry, my bad.
No. I was just saying. Oh wait. Oh yeah. Here we go. This will be good. Go ahead and give him the countdown, Coach Jay.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, Alabama sucks. 1, go. In here tonight, folks. It's a little hot. People are sweating.
Oh, his lips are already blood red.
People are challenging people to street fights who only type on keyboards. Just another fan call-in show. Oh, he put up the L. We took an L. We take responsibility here at the Talkin VAWLS Network, ladies and gentlemen. We took an L. We'll be back next week to get that W. We'll be putting 2 of those D's together.
Wayne says, cue it up. Wayne says, cue it up.
Cue it up. Good music. Man. Spicy? Yeah.
Okay, with the facts.
Oh,
Freaking
man.
facts in the chat. If it's hot going in, it's going to be hot coming out.
Gonna pay for that in the morning.
Yeah. Can you get more of those? Can you get more of those peppers, and can you put it in Georgia's football players' jockey straps before the next time they play it? That is my only question.
Yes.
The old Tiger Bomb and the jock strap. That hurts.
Oh my god.
Woo! It's the milk, man.
No, not just Georgia, but Alabama's too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a brave man.
I have work tomorrow.
Dude, can you imagine being a Georgia fan and like you won and you should be celebrating and you're rolling around the internet wanting to fight people and we're all here having a good time? Like, we're just having fun at Luke's expense. Oh, yeah,
that guy wouldn't eat no hot pepper.
Luke's not having fun, but the rest of us are having fun.
Oh yeah. And see, I wore an Under Armour sweatshirt. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to change into a Tennessee one because I still believe in the Tennessee Volunteers. And to all the negative balls out there and the Georgia fans in the chat, shut your mouths. Shut up. Just shut up. Because Tennessee has come back from so much pain over 15, 20 years of nothing but bull crap. Let Tennessee fans let the Tennessee fans have their moment. Let them have their moment. Well, let us have this moment. Yes, we lost to Georgia. Yes, we lost to Arkansas. But guess what? We still have the rest of the season to go and a possibility at playoffs. We still have that possibility. I'm not
Got to
giving
get
up
in.
on that. At 25 years
No.
old, I'm fired up. I am fired up.
Wait, hold on. Let me do the math. 25 years old. So you saw 10-win seasons under. No, you were a baby. This is the Josh Heupel's the only coach to ever give you a 10-win season that you understood, isn't he?
Bingo. Bingo. Yes. And I
And you're
love
about to
it.
get your
I
you're about
love
to get
this.
your second one. You're about to get your second one.
Let's
oh,
we
man.
got 266 in here. I want to take a quick little poll. Everyone in the chat, let's just assume we get
an official poll. I'm going to make an official poll.
Okay, all right. Let's say we do get in. Let's say we do get into the playoffs, right?
Oh no, there is no if. There is a win.
Yeah,
There is a win, not an if.
If we get into the playoffs, do you think we got no chance of winning a playoff game, or you think Tennessee will win a playoff game if we get into the playoffs? Yes or no? Will the Vols get a playoff win when we get in? We'll know where everyone's at with this team.
I'm just going to put
even after a loss,
win or lose. If
win
we
or
make
lose
the
that
playoffs,
playoff
no
game.
chance of winning, or win one. So we'll start the poll.
Let's see.
Win or lose. Let's see what happens in the
where
poll.
we're at.
We'll give it some time. We'll let it saturate. Let people vote on that poll. Sling Blade, how are you feeling tonight, brother? Are you angry? Are you Luke? Are you Luke? I hope it's not about to come out, Luke. You in
Definitely
trouble?
not Luke right now.
Yeah, could be worse, right?
Yeah, I sort of became a victim of my own mind yesterday morning. I made the mistake of watching Game Day and got all ginned up after everyone picked Georgia, and and again, I would have been, and I am fine with if we go 10-2. I mean, this is Nico's first year. We've got to get a supporting cast around him. I do wonder how good. I mean, I believe in Brew, and I know Squirrel's doing all he can out there. Dante Thornton, he's made some great catches, but I just wonder how good the supporting cast is actually around him. But I fully believe in Nico. I think we just got to give him time, and he's growing into his shoes this year. So I don't know. I mean, I was as disheartened as everyone else, to have played so well in the first half, and then it was tumbleweeds basically the second half. But we can't put all that on our defense and expect them to in every game pull us out and rescue us.
I agree.
I don't know why we don't make adjustments. Just as I'm not an expert, or whatever. Just as the layman.
I got it. Let me real quick, Sling Blade. I just got to say, and this is one thing I've kind of been irritated with, even back when Golish was here. We were Golish too, Heupel as well. They were both stubborn to a T at that halftime game plan from an offensive standpoint. I would get so mad at Golish for not adjusting because he was kind of. But you know what? Here's the thing: Veer coaches, offensive coaches who coach the Veer. What's the old statement? It's just like Novocaine, give it time, and it always works. So they have that mentality, and sometimes you need to make a couple adjustments. So I agree with you. Go. Sorry.
No, that's fine, Coach Jay. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot to say about it other than, it was a tale of two halves. It was like we just left and not that we didn't move the ball, and I know we were hurt by the penalties that were bull crap. That was bull. And but there again, if we you don't want to leave it to the referees, so we should have done more to make sure that we win the game. But the game at the same time, I think, was closer than the final score indicated. I don't think that we were embarrassed there. But anyway, I kind of felt like my dad. I grew up watching the Vols play, and when we would have a bad game, we would be excited before the game, and things didn't go our way, and then he would, before he shut the TV off, he'd say, "Well, I guess I have to go to work on Monday either way." So
That's
you know,
right.
that's sort of how I felt. But
life rolls on, right? Sling Blade, life rolls on. Look,
Yeah, it
it's okay
does.
to be mad. I was mad today, and I
Yeah.
went through a spell, and it started with Fulmer in 05, man, where I quit caring. I was like, Tennessee would lose. Like before that 05 season was a turning point, man. My wife almost liked it. She's like, wow, so my husband's a normal human being. Like he doesn't hate life for 2, 3, 4 days after a loss. But guess what? Winning brings that back. And now I'm back to being like, I feel like I bounced back okay today because I put some perspective on it. I think that's what a lot of our fan base needs to do is put perspective on it. Look where we were. Look where we're at now under Josh Heupel. And it's all right, man. It's all right. We 10-2, man. Like that's why we had the sermon to start the show. Luke, can you I don't know if you are a Food Network guy like myself and Coach Jay. We're foodies. We love to cook. We love Guy Fieri. We love the Food Network. Can you explain how that pepper tasted? Was it?
I just typed
Notes
in
of
chat.
chocolate?
It was hell in my mouth.
Mm.
It was just hell.
Like it was instant, right? Like the second you took a bite, it was over.
It was terrible when it started, and then it got worse.
Your lips are so
Yeah, they really are. I love
like
it.
within 30 seconds, they were blood red. Why did you feel the need to do that? I'm here for it. I love entertainment.
I love
I'm here
it.
for entertainment.
I threw in Kentucky and Vandy like as a go ahead, but then I was like, I had the audacity to put Georgia in there.
So wait a second. If Tennessee loses to Vanderbilt, what are you going to eat? 2 of them?
Oh. He's like, right now, no, I'm not eating it anymore.
Why not? Why not?
2 of them.
We're not going to lose to Vandy, so it's fine.
Is a Carolina Reaper that's hotter than a ghost pepper, right?
That's
It's
the
way hotter.
hottest pepper on earth.
It is the hottest pepper.
They're
Oh my
pretty
gosh.
rough.
Yeah.
It's like 2.2 million Scoville units.
That's a little spicy.
You're almost as crazy as some of these idiot Georgia fans. Backflip Spaghetti. He upgraded his membership to Talkin VAWLS Elite. We appreciate you. Briston also becomes a member of the channel at Emoji Access. We appreciate that. Hit that join button, man. Support the channel. We appreciate you guys. We're committed. We're committed. Why would you block everybody, Boogie? Because I don't care about subscribers. I don't care about views. I don't care about clicks. I care about community. And we're building a heck of a community. And speaking of community, this dude right here is a big part of it. Good old Nate Pruitt. How we feeling, brother?
Nate.
Hey, how's it going, fellas? Y'all doing all right?
We're doing okay.
Yes,
I know
sir.
you were full of some piss and vinegar last night. I saw you in the chat saying you needed a little Coach Rice in your life.
I needed some Coach Rice, man.
I hate that Coach Rice couldn't come on tonight. I don't know if you heard this earlier. He had a friend that lost their father tonight. So Coach Rice was there. He was like, man, I can't make it on. I gotta go take care of my buddy. I said, you go take care of your buddy. Hopefully he'll be back Wednesday. We'll see. But so just send some prayers up for Coach Rice, his buddy, their family, all that type of stuff. But why did you need Coach Rice? Like, just where you at? You know the deal, man. I tell you before post games, shoot straight, give us your opinion. That's what we do here.
I'm going to start off by saying I think that first the offensive line looked great. I think they played some pretty good ball. Everybody started slacking. It looked like the team started slacking, and we started getting out coached. And that was it. We can blame the refs. We can say everything. And yes, I will stand at the front of the line and blame the refs. There was some blatant calls that were not made. I will stand there and say that I guarantee you they made a difference in the momentum of that. Because had those calls not went that way, like they shouldn't have, we wouldn't have the scores that we did. I'm not saying Tennessee would have won, saying it wouldn't have went that way. But all in all, as much as I want to blame the ref, man, defense got out coached, and I just, what's up, little brother? I see that. And man, I'm still, like Jenny said earlier, I'm still all ball. People saying that we're this and we're that, and we're the worst team ever. Y'all didn't go through the hard times. Y'all don't remember what it was for 4 wins and 3 wins and hoping and praying we're going to get in a bowl game.
Yep. Jonathan Crompton didn't have no 10-win seasons, right?
Right.
I mean, a lot of quarterbacks. Sorry.
All
But
fair
no,
conversations coming to fruition.
But that goes.
told.
No, but that just. I mean, yeah, I took a pot shot, but that goes for a lot of all quarterbacks over the last freaking whatever 20 years, right? Like that. That's just not on Crump. I mean, start going through all of them for a second, man. Like it's been a minute. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
It's been a
Oh,
minute.
yeah.
It's a good problem. It's gonna be fun to watch if hype can get them over the top, right? I do think one thing about this offensive line, Nate, I thought they played good in spots. I do think this is true of our offensive line. I think as much as a seniored out offensive line can help you, I do think they're beat up over years because of lack of
Yes.
depth. I
Yes.
think not just this season, but multiple seasons is starting to take a toll on guys on this offensive line. Spraggins comes to mind. Mays comes to
Campbell's
mind.
beat all the hell.
You know,
Campbell's
Mays is a stud, but I feel like he's been fading at the end of the games because he's doing so much. It's not necessarily even a shot at him. It's just, it's going to happen because he's doing a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of tough.
Hold on, while you're talking about Cooper Mays,
yeah,
we got to bring this up because we texted last night.
Yeah, I do believe that still.
So
I do believe that. So what was going on in that game is there was a point in that game where they were changing the mic based on the formation, not the players or the people on the field, but the mic on the field, right? So Coop, being super smart like he is, catches it, right? And when they do it, he identifies it right before the snap, and then every time he points, he snaps immediately after. They jumped that 4 times in a row at that point.
Yeah.
And got quick A-gap pressure.
He started doing that in the first half, though.
I don't mind him doing it, but he had a cadence with it, and they caught on to it. You could see the tap, the turn.
Right.
They just did. And the linebackers caught on to it too. They just had this perfect pop stall go, and you can do that as a linebacker when you guess the count, because what you can do, the way Tennessee blocks, a lot of times it's Kyler Kerbyson did a great job of explaining it the other day on here. Is an offensive line in our system, offensive lineman, you don't always got to block the full defensive guy in front of you. You just got to block the half of them you need to be in the position you are. So a lot of times our O-lines are half steps to get that shade and then pull or come down or whatever you may have you, especially on pass plays. Well, on those, if you know which way you're stepping and you know the count, you can just shoot right beyond that backside hip, and that happened multiple times last night due to that getting picked up. Once again, it's tough because, man, he was smart to recognize it, Mays was. Just a little too obvious in the way he was tipping it. And look, I'm not trying to sit out here and criticize. Look, Goose been the heart and soul of this team, and is
Absolutely,
in a lot of degrees the heart and soul of this team. And I'm proud of hell as the way he's fought over the years through injuries and everything else. So I don't want that to come off in the wrong way anyways at all. I just think this O-line has banged, battered, and played a lot of football with not a lot of people behind them over the last 4 years. Now, them being older has given us a luxury that we haven't had in the past. These 4-star kids, Sham Uverov, you know what I mean, Bennett Warren, Gage Ginthers, they're having legit time to grow up and not have to get thrown in there like Darnell Wright, not having to get thrown in there like Wanye Morris. So what do we get when they finally step on the field? I don't think we just don't trust them. I just think we trust these fifth-year seniors a lot more than we trust the new guys who haven't got a lot of run under them. Either way, I think we got to bring in a couple guys, though. Sorry,
look how much better. No, look how much better like Lance Hurts playing, right? Like we talked about him not being healthy throughout camp. I think Lance Hurts playing good football right now. And he's young, man. He's got 2 more years of football in front of him. You got David Sanders coming in. You got William Satterwhite at center who has got a lot of run throughout camp. I think he has the potential to be a good player. This offensive line behind those veteran starters, they're young, but like you said, Coach, they've got some run, and that excites me. Let me do some plugs and chills. We still got 300 people watching live. Smash the thumbs up. Like I think last night's post-game show got a record low for thumbs up. You may hate me and my opinions, but maybe you like Coach Jay and you like his opinions. Hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel. We would appreciate it. Also, go check out the merch. You guys know where. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Whatever you want. Get in where you fit in. Wrestling themed shirts. I brought out the Cruton with Boogie and the coaches. Brought that out tonight. Check out whatever you want. Rivalry shirts, Lurker Mode, Knoxville, Tennessee, checkerboard, letter themed shirts. It's all there. We're a cult here, right? We're a cult, and when you're a cult, you put up borders, and you don't let outsiders in. You keep the community together, and you say screw the outsiders. We don't care about the outsiders. We want to build the cult from the inside out. Drink the Kool-Aid. We'll all go down together, and we'll laugh all the way to the bank. But go check it out, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Shout out to the members. Without you guys, this channel does not exist. We need your support. Think about hitting the join button. $1. That's it. Give $1. That's all we ask. We would appreciate it. Hit the join button. It's besides subscribe, or it's also in the description below. It's also pinned to the top of the chat. Go get in where you fit in. All the links are in that description because Coach Jay, quite frankly, he wouldn't own any Talkin VAWLS merch if the link was not in the description. So that's quick and easy. You guys can take care of that. We appreciate you. At least hit the thumbs up. It does help the channel. Let me hit a couple of super chats real quick. Briston for 5 says there's a tell in the O-line. If I'm not wrong, we have too much base. If it's a pass and a lot of movement, if it's a run and Kirby knows it, that's why Georgia has our number. Does anybody have thoughts on that?
I do. Me and Coach Rice were having this conversation, and I'd be remiss if I didn't bring it up because, like I told you, Boogie, me and offense coordinators, we don't always gel perfectly. Just being, offense and defensive guys, we tend to
shout out Coach Rice.
Tend to rap at each other, but we love each other too. You know what I mean? It's all in respect. And we had a talk last night for a while after. It was good talk too. But one thing that we both kind of agreed on is something that he's touching on here. Our creativity on the eye candy in the throw game has slowed since. That is one thing I do notice since 22 that has changed. It's not so much the exact plays that are in there, but the pre-motion eye candy and the variations off that eye candy have changed. And is that because of Joe Milton? Is that because of a freshman quarterback? What is the reason to that? I don't know. I think it's impossible to guess. I don't think it's Alex Golish either. I think it's intentional. I do believe that. I don't know if any of y'all have any comment on that.
I'm really quiet.
I no one's like, I don't know. I don't care.
I was trying to give somebody the chance to speak on it, but what little bit I could say on it. It was one of the questions that I was going to pose to our road game is that more of before everybody said it was play calling, we were this, we were that, but man, a lot of it just leads up to inexperience, and having the courage and the understanding, not really courage, but the understanding to get the plays done where you're supposed to. And like I said, being able to scheme it up, and I just don't know. There's a miscommunication somewhere. I don't know where it's at. There's something that somebody's dropping the ball somewhere, and I can't put my finger on it. I really don't know.
Yeah. One thing I feel like, at least in this season, I mean, you all could answer this. When you got a slot and you're motioning them, who believes that we would ever run a wide receiver end around to Chaz Nimrod? Who thinks we would ever run that play here?
That's not coming. No.
Right, that's never coming. Squirrel, maybe, but not with a dislocated shoulder. So a lot of times when you're motioning that slot guy around, it's because he's a threat to run or pick up that formation, and then you hand it off. Sometimes you fake that sweep, run like an orbit reverse with a pass of it. Coach Rice posted a beautiful one today on his Twitter. Go check it out. But if that threat isn't real for that run off of that motion, it's not going to work. So maybe that's it. Maybe we haven't felt like we have a slot wide receiver that can do that in space. I'll tell you what, I think we got a young one on the roster in Mr. Staley. I think he's going to be electric in that kind of Z sweep motion kind of stuff, and then getting passes off of it. So I'm looking forward to that in the future.
And I mean, I get everybody's frustration with Mike Matthews. We need to see Mike Matthews. We need to see him now. Like, I'll be honest, man, I'm disappointed with these wide receivers. I am. I'm disappointed with them. I think they have not lived up to the hype. They've not lived up to the expectations. And I thought it was comical last night when we were talking about wide receivers, and I mentioned J.D. Pickell saying that we had 4 wide receivers that could start anywhere in the country. And somebody in the chat said, J.D. Pickell don't know ball. Well, that's weird because, first of all, he played college football. Second of all, he played the wide receiver position. I'm pretty sure that a college wide receiver knows a little something about playing wide receiver versus the average Joe on the couch. He knows way more about football than I do. I don't need to come on here and stroke my ego and pretend that I know more than J.D. Pickell about playing wide receiver in college football. So when I hear him say that, I'm encouraged, and I've not seen the results on the field. It's been frustrating, but at the same time, I think this coaching staff trusts those veterans, but I'm excited about Braylon Staley. I'm excited about Mike Matthews. I'm curious to see how Nathan Laycock does. Nate, I can tell you're chomping at the bit. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, I'm excited. I know I don't want to push this year off, but me and my father-in-law were having even a conversation when it comes to the O-line. Is that we're 1 year away from having everything put together. Man, we're 1 year away from having everything falling in order, and it's gonna be good. I don't want to pull the who was it, Deion Sanders? Get us now because you won't get us later. But that's what's coming. You get us now because I promise you, we keep on recruiting the way we're doing it. You will not get us later. The game we saw the other night, it won't happen again. We get the right people in the right timing. It's going to be great, man.
Yeah. Okay, let's go around real quick. I'm going to give you 4. You get 4 positions where you're going to go after guys in the transfer portal. You get 4 slots. Luke, who are you taking? What's your 4 positions you're taking?
Luke got put on blast first.
It can be 3. It can be 3 D tackles and 1 O lineman. However you want to mix it up. 2 wide receivers, whatever you want to do.
Probably some wide receivers, maybe for some more depth.
Okay.
I don't know how we are doing on O line. Like, are they gone? Are they all gone next year?
The starters mostly, except
everybody
for Hurd.
except for Hurd.
Maybe some O-line guys. I don't know much about positions, honestly. I'm just
you're good. You're good. Sling Blade.
Yeah, I would definitely go after some O linemen. I think that's part of our issue right now. That's just me personally. I think we need to go after and what you said, Coach Jay, about the O line just being banged up. We put so much on them over the last few years, and those that have been around, and I think I am excited about the people that are coming up behind. I'm excited about David Sanders coming in. So I would definitely try and get someone out of the transfer portal, although it seems like it takes them a little bit of time to get caught up. So maybe not a senior, or I don't know. I mean, it seems like it just takes them some time to get caught up, but also some wide receivers. And again, I definitely think the world of Brew, think the world of Squirrel, and Thornton's done some great things, but everyone else is just, Chris Brazel's been a bit of a disappointment this year, and maybe it's just taken a while to learn Heupel's system, and maybe with another, maybe next year. I don't think he's a senior, but I think he'll be back next year. they'll be better. So, but the main thing is, give Nico time, because he's the key, man. He's going to do so many good things, and I truly believe that.
I agree.
We've got to put a supporting cast around him.
Agreed. Wolfman, who you taking? What position groups you targeting the transfer portal?
Oh, I gotta think about this one hard, because I know our defensive line needs help, our O line needs help, wide receivers, tight end, just everybody. Everybody needs help.
I only gave you 4, man, but I'll give
Needs-
you O line.
Just saying, in general, everybody needs. We need more depth everywhere.
Sure.
But I'm a defensive guy, so I'm going with, oh God, safeties and O line, or D line. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
Safeties and D line.
Gotcha. Nate, what do you want to see in target? I know it's way too early conversation, but
no, y'all already know my probably two. I want more depth on tackles. I'd like to see. I don't know how center's going to play out. I think it's going to be okay, but when you're going away from Mays, man, it's a hard call.
Yeah.
But mine would be all offense. I want to see tackles. Give me 2 tackles and give me 2 receivers. I'll take that. I'd be happy with that.
The hard part about center, Cooper Mays has been the center the entire time Josh Heupel's been at Tennessee. The entire time. And I think William Satterwhite's going to be okay. I think he's going to be okay. We'll see what comes of that. If I was going transfer portal, I would go give me a tackle, give me a guard, give me a running back. If DeSamp is off to the NFL, we need a running back. We can't live on Deshaun Bishop, Cam Seldon, and Peyton Lewis. I don't know if Cam Seldon's the guy. You can get mad at me. You can call me whatever you want. You can throw insults at me. I don't really care. I don't know that Cam Seldon's going to be that guy, but it's got to be the right fit. And I think Josh Heupel's been good with that when he goes to the portal. And I said all offseason I felt like we needed a portal running back because I didn't have that confidence in Deshaun Bishop. Little did I know Deshaun Bishop was going to be as good as he is. It's unfortunate that he was hurt, man. I think we could have used him on the road against Georgia. I do, man. I talked earlier in the show that drive when you had an opportunity to tie the game and DeSamp's tapping his helmet going out, like that's frustrating. And I would have liked to seen have Deshaun Bishop on this roster. So give me a tackle, give me a guard, give me a running back, and then I'll go interior defensive line just for some depth. I think we've got some players there. We've got some gamers. I understand the people saying linebacker because Arian Carter struggled last night, man. Arian Carter struggled. T-Lander struggled. Jalen Smith has struggled. Caleb Perry struggled. It hurts that Edwin Spillman's banged up right now. I think Edwin Spillman could be good next year, but I think we still need a little bit of depth in that linebacker room. Those are my answers. Let me catch up with some super chats real quick. Andrew N for 5 says, I don't know if y'all have seen it yet. The prediction we play Ole Miss as the 10th seed, them at 7. How do we feel about going to Ole Miss? Going to be a tough game, man. You're going to go on the road to the SEC. It's going to be a tough game. Ole Miss is a good football team. That's just how I feel about it. Fido Productions for 5, maybe the amount of pre-snap penalties that the eye candy caused. Georgia's eye candy on defense does cause pre-snap penalties. Matthew Watson, so do false starts by Carson Beck that don't get called. Matthew Watson for 2 says, Boo Carter's route running clears all of our wide receivers. What do you want to do? I mean, do you want him to be Travis Hunter, though? Like, are we going to play Boo Carter both ways? Right. Like, Boo Carter's electric. Like, his punt return last night was in vain. Didn't get anything out of it. He's electric with the ball in his hands, but I think he's also going to be a really good defensive back at that star position. Jartavius X for 2 says, offensive line, strong safety, big, tall, blocking tight end, and wide receiver. Tight end next year, Kitzelman's gone. Stace is back, and Ethan Davis is back, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And then you've got the 2 freshmen coming in that are pretty highly rated. I don't know that I would go for a tight end. And I get the wide receiver talk too. I get it. Briston for 2, nothing to say, just a tip in the old tip jar. We appreciate you, my friend. I'm going to take the high road. I want to say something so bad. but I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to take the high road. I'm going to be a good Christian boy tonight. But I am going to say this was a fun fan call and show. I love you guys. I love this community. I love what Talkin Balls is all about, regardless of what's going around in the world of the internet. I think we got the best damn community for Tennessee ball football right here on this channel.
Yes, sir.
Fun show. Shout out to Coach Jay for coming on. Prayers for Coach Rice and his buddy and everything that they're going through. He hopefully will be back on Wednesday night. Tomorrow morning, Eric Kane of VolQuest.com will be in the house 9 a.m. Make sure you're here for that. Tuesday night, we play EA Sports College Football. Sean Cross is on my radar. Matthew Watson is giving me good games. I don't know that I want him to come in here Tuesday night because he gives me good games every week, and I got to somehow find a way to survive. But if you want to go head-to-head with me, show up on Tuesday night. You want to join the EA Sports College Football official Talkin Balls Dynasty, there is a link in the description for that. On Patreon, you can still get in where you fit in. We're having a lot of fun with that. Wednesday night, Talkin Balls live at 7. Friday morning, me and Coach Jay going live Saturday. And I don't tailgate show. I mean, why would we not do it? Why would we not do it? We're going live an hour before kickoff and immediately following the game. But that is going to do it. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Go Big Orange, because that is all I know. For Coach Jay, for Luke, shout out Luke. Shout out Luke for bringing some entertainment value tonight. Love you, good old Nate Pruitt, Ball Fan 25 Sling Blade. This is the Talkin Balls Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
That we call home and it's night and I'm alone and